My quiz.
Oh, that's okay. We'll figure that out. Okay, let's go to page 190. We're talking about proportions today. I know it's been 2 days, but really you looked at it even yesterday. Can someone give me the definition of a ratio? What is a ratio? Justin?
Ratio is comparison of two or more numbers.
That sounds really nice. It's a comparison of two or more numbers. What are we going to deal with our ratio? Two numbers, okay? And how do we show those comparison of numbers? We say a number and the word two, another number. We can say a number, just colon, another number. Or we can use a fraction, a number compared to another number. We're going to deal with fractions because that's the way we're most used to looking at these ratios. But today is not ratios, not dealing with ratios per se, although you'll find out, wait, this is kind of like ratios. We're dealing with the word proportion. Okay, I need a definition first. A proportion is an equation. So it has to have what symbol in it? Equal sign. So it's an equation that shows two ratios are equal. That's a critical component of a proportion. So what does a proportion have to have, everyone? Has to have equal sign. And technically, according to that definition, not only does a proportion have an equal sign, but it has to have two ratios right here. I want you to write this proportion down, and then I'm going to do something with it. One ratio would be A to B. A to B. So you could say that. This is algebraic. That means it could be any two numbers. So A to B. And then the other one I could say is C to D. Joey, is that a proportion? No, not yet. There's something missing. Yeah, what do all proportions have, guys? So that looks like a proportion. Now it is a proportion. Do you guys understand that? If you don't have an equal sign, you just have two ratios. Now I have two ratios with an equal sign, proportion here. This is what we have. You guys okay with that? You're going to deal with a lot of these today. All right, I'm going to go to the next screen and rewrite this for myself. You don't have to rewrite it. A over B equals C over D. All right, something cool about proportions. There are two different types. There are true proportions and there are false proportions. And you have to be able to determine which ones are true, which ones are false. And some of you can do it just by looking at it. That's a false one. That's got to be true. And then some of you are going to be like, how did he know that? Where'd she get that? All of us will be able to use this next property here called the cross. It is cross multiply, but we call it the cross products property. Ooh, I like properties. Yeah, not yet. I still got 3 months. Oh, that's not a lot of time, but I'll try my best. It's coming, Justin.
How many more actual tests do we have?
Oh, I was counting every test, like 1, 2. Oh. We'll find out. I don't even know, honestly. Depends on how much we can fit in.
Don't we have to take exams and standardized testing?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, yeah. All right, no, you're good.
How long is summer?
Usually 3 months. Oh, our summer. Man, okay. You guys are really drilling me today. I can't get it. I just got back from being sick, guys. It's hard. All right. This is what I want you to get. Sorry, I lost you guys. That's my fault. But here, the cross products property. I want you to know everything that you're going to learn in Algebra 1, in Geometry, Algebra 2, Pre-Calc, Calc. they have to go according to properties, and here's another one that's super useful. But the cross products property says this. If I multiply A times D, what does that give me? AD. You write AD, right? A times D. If I multiply these two, which is why we call it cross multiplying, we multiply A times D, and then we also multiply B times C, what does that get me?
What if you did?
B times C, oh, hold on, I'll get that question in just a moment. If these two products, remember what's a product? It's an answer to a multiplication problem. So if I multiply these two, and I multiply those two, and those two numbers equal one another, guess what kind of proportion this is? True or false?
True.
It's true. So this would be a true proportion.
So
Sorry, let me get some hands. Will?
those are both like Anya, Domini, and before Christ.
Oh, wow, nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, AD and BC. Not purposefully that way, but yeah. That
Well,
is.
like Anthony Davis. And Chris Hutchinson.
Boston Celtics, yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay, anyway, I'm done with that. Let me give you an example of how this works. Okay, some of these guys, listen to me very carefully. Some of these you can get off the top of your head. I don't care if you can do it off the top of your head. I need to see the work. So here's an example of the work. They're going to give you two ratios, 3/4 and 105. Make sure I get the right number, 1/40. Okay, and then they're going to put this little box, and they're going to put a question mark there. They're asking you, are these two ratios equal or not equal to each other? And I don't want just, oh, this is easy, got it, or don't, they're not right, I still got it. You need to show me some work. The work is this. What's 3 times 140? Don't guess, guys. Don't guess on that. Shh. Sorry, don't guess and let people try to figure it out. And then I'll do 4 times 105. Okay, so what's 140 times 3? 420. And if you didn't know how to do that, you could actually just work it out here. Oops. And you get your 420. So you just work it out. And then what's 4 times 105? 420. Are these two cross products equal?
Yeah.
So what kind of symbol should go right here? It's an equal to sign. That's your answer. Okay? You need to show me the proportion. You need to show me the cross multiplication. And then tell me equal it. No, you just put equal or not equal to, depending on the answer.
But what's the not equal to sign?
Not equal to sign would be that.
So for the answer, you just either put.
This or that. That's your answer, but you need to show me work. I don't want just the answer, oh wow, you got that in your head. That's not impressive. Let's go with 8/5 compared to 40/50. Okay, so I need a symbol here. Don't call it out. Please work it out on your own. I need work. So I don't want just an answer because that's not going to count.
Do we have to draw a question mark?
No, so this is what they have on your paper. So you just need to actually do what's that, and are they equal or not equal, and then that'll tell me your answer. Now, the instructions will say this, tell whether this is or write the correct symbol, equal to sign, not equal to sign, and they'll say justify your answer. You know what justify means in this? Show your work. You can't just say it's equal and say, yeah, it's equal. Well, what's your justification? Because I think it is, or I know it is. No, that's not a justification. Yes, sir, Elijah. Yeah, what you can do, there are actually 8 ways you can work this out. 8. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can do 40 divided by 8 equals what? 5. 50 divided by 5 equals 10. That means they're not proportional. That's one way of working it. You can flip things around, multiply, divide. So there are multiple ways, but the way I want you guys to learn it now, just multiply across. cross multiply. 8 times 50? 400. 5 times 40? 200. Are these two equal? No, so you put this as your symbol. That's your answer. Not equal to. So is 8/5 equal to 40/50ths?
No.
And you know what that means from last lesson? This is what I want you to get. You remember how I gave you a fraction and said, all right, come up with two equivalent fractions? Do you remember those problems? Yeah, you multiply by the same number. Is there any number that I multiply both of these by that will get me 40/50ths?
No. 1.
That I'll never get it. The same, they'll never, like, if I try 10 over 10, I'll get 80/50ths. That doesn't work. If I try 5/5, I'll get 40/20ths. That won't work. Never can I get that. So like on your answers, for example, you remember how you guys gave me two equivalent fractions? I have to check them. This is how I check them. I gave you this problem, and you gave me this answer. I cross multiply. Nope, that can't be it. That's all I have to do because I can look at equivalent fractions using cross multiplication. Not a big one, kind of a small one. It's pretty nice. Yep. Yeah, okay. Honestly, it's not always the easiest, but it's the most certain. Most certain. Because sometimes you get problems like these.
Like certain.
Oh yeah, is it? I think
Almost.
yes. This is why you use a calculator.
Oh,
Oh, Miss Mary, are they equal?
I have no idea yet. So you tell me what symbol should go in there, and you justify your work. So justifying your work will be, all right, what are your cross products? If you give me the correct cross products, then you have to be right. When you're multiplying, yeah, at the end you have to move the decimal that many times. Okay, so I'm going to do these two multiplied together. Man, I know we struggle with decimals, but really all you have to do, what's 9 times 9? 81. How many decimal places do I have? 3, so I move it 1, 2, 3. So that's the first one, 0.081. If you didn't do that, some of you may have done this. Some of you did it like that, like you worked it out. Okay, so you get 81, and then how many times do you move the decimal?
3.
So what do you get?
0.0.
Same thing we got. So either way is going to work. And then you have to multiply these two, which, oh man, I really wish I had more time to teach about decimals, but if you're confused about this problem, here's what I'm doing in my head. Guys, I'm not good in my head, but this is what I'm doing in my head. 8.1 times 0.01. I'm going to say 81 times 1 is 81. How many decimal places do I have in that problem? 1, 2, 3. So do I get an equal sign or a not equal to?
They're equal.
They're equal to each other.
Could you have done?
You could have also done that problem. This is how you work it out for some of you.
Could you have done 0?
How many of you did it that way? Okay, so ready? I'll get to you, Ellie, just a moment. 1, 8, and then I don't do anything with 0. How many times do I move the decimal?
3.
So same thing, right? Sorry, sorry. Okay. Either way, I'm going to get it. Yes, sir.
Could you have done 0.9 minus 0.0?
No, if you add or subtract, that's not going to get you proportionality. It has to be multiply and or divide. It's a good question, though. Oh, I got to give you the last type of problem, which,
I know what it looks like. If like every one of us thinks the way, then we can test that.
Sure, do we have homework?
No way.
are you okay, Justin?
What if every...
No, I'm trying to give you the types that you're going to get.
What have you done to me? That's a 9, right?
That's hard.
That's an
That's
A.
not equal 9.
A.
That's a 9.
I'd love to give you your tests, but I'm losing my voice and time's running out. Yes, sir?
Like, after we learn this problem and we do one example and every one of us gets it right, can we get our test back?
Okay, how about this? I'm going to give you this example. I'll make you do one on your own. I'll give you one last example because there's one other type that it's the hardest type because we're building up And if you can get that one, yes, then you'll get your test. Yeah, we got time. Yes. Yeah, we have time still, so work with me, stay quiet, ask questions if you need to. I don't mind that. You're looking at this, you're like, wait. That's not even a fraction. That's like a double fraction. It is a fraction over a number, but it's still one fraction. And yeah, you still do the same thing. I'm going to cross multiply. So what's 1/2 times 4?
2.
What's 5 times a?
5.
Now, they should be equal, shouldn't they?
No way.
So here's what I have. Here's the third type of proportion you have. There are true proportions. Remember those? True. They are equal. There are false proportions. Can't be true. They're false. And then the third type is it depends. It depends.
It depends on what the A is.
Whatever A can't be anything, but it can't be one thing, and it can be one thing, and this is how you find out that one thing. Do you get my cross products here? Do you get those? How do I find what A should be in this equation?
Divide by 5.
Divide both sides by 5. You end up with 2/5 equals A. And that means that 2/5 is the only number that will fit here that will make it a true proportion. And you're like, no way, Mr. A, that can't be true. Well, let's test it out. What's 1/2? Sorry, let me check this out. What's 1/2 times 4? What's 1/2 times 4? Sorry. What's 5 times 2/5?
10 over 5.
10 over 5, which is? There is a number, and that's when you have a variable. You solve for it and get your 2/5. It works with a variable. You have to find what that value is. Exactly. Okay, let me give you guys one, please. Okay, let's start off with this one. I want you to do it with the cross products. Do not do it in your head, even though some of you may be able to do it in your head. All right, here it is. Sorry? Well, you don't put, it is equal. Like the problem, it gave you an equal sign. It said it was equal. You're just trying to find out what A is equal to. So it's a different type of problem. Here's this problem. 24 over y equals 1.8 over 15. Listen to me carefully. Is this a true proportion?
Yes.
You know how I know it's a true proportion? They said it was a true proportion. I'm not trying to determine whether it's true or false. I'm trying to figure out what number fits for y that makes it true. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And you're like, how do I do that? What's our method? Cross multiply. So first you're going to do 24 times 15. And then you're going to do 1.8 times y. So get your 24 times 15. Again, guys, these are not, you don't always just get them off the top of your head because they do get tougher. It's just practice. Nothing special. Mr. A is not special in math. I just do this a lot.
You're special. You are.
I've been chosen.
You had to do it the hard way when you write it down. Like this.
Okay, when you get y, when you get to this step, do you guys know what to do next?
You divide.
Both sides.
1.8.
1.8. Don't be scared of 1.8, but write it down the correct way. It's 360 in the box, 1.8 outside the box. You need to move the decimal once because you don't want that. Add another 0. So, did you get this part right here? Do you understand it? Do you see that we have to divide by 1.8? Because what's 1.8 over 1.8? And so I figured that out. Sorry? The decimal's right here, technically. So you don't have to put it in. Y is equal to 200. They are equal because the problem said they were. You're not trying to figure that out. You're trying to figure out what y should be to make it equal.
Some problems look more. This is a problem that counts, right?
Sorry?
Well, some problems on homework just give us equal.
Yep, they'll say it is equal, find out what y is. Okay, let me give you this problem. Oh, I don't know. How many of you got that one? 200. How many of you didn't get it, but you know what happened?
I put 20. Yes.
Okay, 20, so the decimal's off. Okay, last type. This is the hardest type, but it's the same process. Wow. Help me, guys, help me. X minus 5 over 4 equals 9 over 12. Listen to me. Is this a true or false proportion?
This is true.
It has to be true because they said it was true. I'm not trying to say true or false. I'm not saying this is not my answer, and this is not my answer. In fact, this is wrong. That's just unnecessary. I'm trying to figure out what x has to be. How do I do that?
You cross multiply.
Cross multiply. Just be careful here. X minus 5 times 12.
The 12x, no, 12 times x minus 5.
Yeah, you can rewrite it and make sure it's in parentheses because we're not talking about 12 just times x, but 12 times x minus 5, the whole thing. 4 times 9?
Can we simplify the fraction and do like...
You may. Yes, you may. 3/4. And you can do the same thing, which is cool. How do I find what x is? You guys remember what property? So that property didn't go away. And then you do something to both sides. You add. So this is now where we're solving just like normal.
What is this called? An inequality or something?
Equation. And then you divide both sides by 12 and you get. Okay, now listen. All of these problems can be checked with the variable. Ready? What's 8 minus 5?
3.
So shouldn't this be 3/4 technically? Is 3/4 equal to 9/12?
Yes.
It's exactly equal. Will, you gave me something. Listen to me. Not everyone will be able to take this in today, and it's okay, but if you can, great. If you have a fraction on either side, this one you can't simplify. Can I simplify this?
Yes.
Okay, it would have been. Please listen, because it's going to help some of you make your life easier. You would have simplified to that, right? You still cross multiply, but it made the math easier. What's 8 minus 5 times 4?
4 times x minus 5. Equals 12. It should be 4x.
So it'd be 4x minus 20 equals 12.
Add 20 to both sides.
Add 20 to both sides and then divide by 4.
I mean 32.
Yeah, 32. And then you divide that by 4.
Which is what we got. The same thing. Okay. Either way gets it. Be careful with those. I'm going to give you a couple. All right. Your homework is going to be 2 through... I think you guys are ready for this.
2 through 22.
2 through 26.
26?
Yes. I'm going to add it in because you're ready for it, Elliot.
Even?
I'm going to change it. Even. Yep.
So 2 through 26 skip. All I've got is 2 through 26. How we only have 12?
All right, bye, Swivel. Sorry you couldn't hear me.
Bye, Swivel.
I hope I don't make you get sick, Swivel. I'm sorry.